Hi, besties. Welcome to my first episode of my podcast, Mental Health Conversation with Caro. And I'm your host, Caroline Kihiko. This podcast is a safe space where we talk openly about mental health, the challenges, struggles, victories, and everything in between. Mental health is something that affects each and every one of us, whether it's directly or indirectly, but most people don't understand what mental health is and how it affects our day to day life. That's why I decided to start this podcast because I'm so passionate about mental health advocacy, creating awareness, and providing safe spaces for people to explore their mental health without judgment. Over the coming weeks, we'll dive into topics like stress, anxiety, self care, depression, and many others. But before I start, today I want to start with something very personal, an introduction to who I am and why this podcast exists. Like many of you, I have faced my own struggles with mental health. I have struggled with anxiety since I was 7 years. It hasn't been an easy journey, but with the right tools, the right people, it is bearable. And throughout my journey, I learned that having a safe space where you can express yourself without fear and judgment, it makes it much better. Mental health illness is not just an illness, it's about understanding your emotions, your mind, and the world around you. That's why I created this podcast because I want us to break the stigma, have honest conversation, and provide practical tips and insight that you can use in your day to day life. What you'll be expecting from me from now henceforth is weekly episode where we will discuss mental health topics that matter to us like anxiety, stress, depression, coping tips, and many others. We will also have practical tips and advice that you can apply in your day-to-day life, from coping strategies to self-care tips. And lastly, we'll have a community of listeners who are here to learn, grow, and support one another. In every episode, I will always try to bring you a mix of storytelling, research, expert insight, and practical tips. So whether you are listening while commuting to work, going home, working out, drinking your morning coffee, you will always have something valuable to walk away with it. Mental health is often overlooked. People think that it's just stress, it's just in your mind, you will get over it. But mental health affect every aspect of our lives. It affects how we think, how we feel, and how we relate with others. Therefore, talking about mental health openly is very crucial. It helps in reducing stigma, encouraging people to seek help, and it reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles. Through this podcast, I hope to create a place where we can acknowledge our struggles without shame, celebrate our small wins, and share tools and practical tips for navigating our everyday life challenges. So, thank you so much for joining me on my first step of our journey together. I invite you all to subscribe to this podcast, share it with friends and family, and anyone who can benefit from this. Always remember your voice matters, your story matters, and your mental health matters. Let's learn, grow together, one conversation at a time. Next time we'll dive into our first topic, which is understanding anxiety, how it feels living with anxiety, and how to cope with anxiety. Until then, take care of yourself, be kind to your mind, and remember it's okay not to be okay. Until next time, bye bye and have a lovely day. Thank you.